Oh, excuse me. Did you just yawn? No? Wait a second, now you did see. That's the beauty, or curse, of yawns. They're contagious. You're not especially tired, yet your mouth betrays you, stretching wide, inhaling deeply, and releasing an ignorable, often awkward yawn. This bizarre yet fascinating phenomenon is known as contagious yawning, and it's something scientists have been scratching their heads over for years. While the exact reasons behind it remain a mystery, experts have cooked up some intriguing theories. Let's dive into the video. The domino effect, a reflex gone wild. Imagine someone drops a domino, and suddenly, an entire line of dominoes tumbles down in perfect sequence. That's essentially how contagious yawning works, according to the fixed action pattern hypothesis. It's a reflex and automatic response triggered by a very specific stimulus, like seeing someone else yawn. Once it starts, it's game over. You can't pause it, stop it, or reverse it. If you've ever tried to suppress a yawn in a meeting, you know the struggle is real. This domino effect isn't just limited to yawning. Fixed action patterns are part of our everyday lives. Ever noticed how laughter spreads in a group, even if the joke wasn't that funny? That's the same principle at work. Studies have shown that about 60 to 70% of people will yawn within 5 minutes of seeing someone else do it. It's like our brains are hardwired to say, "Oh, you're yawning. Me too, buddy." Copycat mode, the chameleon effect. If you've ever found yourself mirroring someone else's posture, crossing your arms because they crossed theirs or tilting your head because they did, congratulations, you've been caught in the web of non-conscious mimicry, also known as the chameleon effect. This sneaky little phenomenon is why contagious yawning feels less like a choice and more like a reflex gone rogue. But here's where it gets fascinating. This mimicry is powered by mirror neurons, a special set of brain cells that activate when you see someone perform an action. These neurons are like the brain's version of paparazzi, capturing every movement and making you feel like you need to do the same thing. Studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging have shown that just watching or even hearing someone yawn can light up these neurons like a Christmas tree. The result? You're suddenly yawning too, even if you were perfectly alert 5 seconds ago. Mirror neurons aren't just responsible for yawns. They play a huge role in learning, from tying shoelaces to nailing a TikTok dance. If you've ever thought, "That looks easy. I can totally do it." After watching someone, thank your mirror neurons. Though maybe don't blame them when your version goes hilariously wrong. Yawning for empathy. A warm and fuzzy connection. Have you ever yawned just because someone you care about yawned? That's not just mimicry, it's empathy in action. According to the empathy yawn hypothesis, contagious yawning is a social bonding tool, especially among species that rely on emotional connections to survive. In other words, your brain isn't just copying someone else for fun. It's trying to say, "Hey, I feel you." The connection between yawning and empathy is backed by some pretty adorable evidence. A study found that dogs yawn more often when their owners yawn compared to strangers. Yes, dogs are basically furry bundles of empathy. But humans take it a step further. Research has shown that we're more likely to catch a yawn from someone close to us, like a friend or family member, than from a stranger. And here's the kicker. This empathetic response to yawning starts around the age of 4 or 5, right when kids begin to develop a deeper understanding of others' emotions. Think of yawning as your brain's way of saying, "I see you, I feel you, and I'm yawning right there with you." Sure, it might not seem like the grandest gesture of solidarity, but hey, it's the thought and the yawn that counts. Mirror neurons, the brain's copy-paste tool. Let's shine the spotlight on those mirror neurons again, because they're the true MVPs of this yawning saga. These neurons are like your brain's copy-paste tool, firing up when you perform an action, and when you see someone else do the same. They're the reason you can watch a YouTube tutorial on cake decorating and feel like a pro baker until your cake turns out looking like a Pinterest fail. In the case of yawning, mirror neurons are like overenthusiastic cheerleaders. The moment they see someone yawn, they're all in, making sure you yawn too. This response is so strong that even reading about yawning or watching it on TV can trigger your mirror neurons. If you've yawned once or twice while reading this, now you know who to blame. Interestingly, these neurons are crucial for more than just mimicry. They help us learn, empathize, and even navigate social interactions. Without them, we'd struggle to understand or connect with others. So the next time you catch yourself yawning in sync with someone else, take a moment to appreciate the brain magic at play. But why do we yawn in the first place? Before diving into the contagious part, let's answer the burning question: why do we yawn at all? While the definitive answer still eludes scientists, that propose some fascinating theories. One popular idea is that yawning acts as the brain's cooling system, a built-in fan for your noggin, when things get too hot upstairs. Another theory suggests that yawning helps us take in more oxygen, giving our body an extra energy boost during sluggish moments or heightened stress. Interestingly, yawning isn't just a human quirk. Animals yawn too, from our furry companions like dogs and cats to the kings of the jungle, lions. And yes, even penguins get in on the action. Imagine a penguin yawning in its little tuxedo. Adorable, right? So the next time someone calls you out for yawning in public, proudly tell them you're channeling your inner lion or penguin. After all, it's a primal, universal behavior that transcends species, and definitely not a sign of laziness. Yawning across species, not just a human thing. While contagious yawning may seem like a uniquely human trait, the animal kingdom begs to differ. Research has revealed that animals like dogs, chimpanzees, and even birds exhibit this behavior. For example, chimpanzees, our closest relatives in the animal world, show yawning patterns that spread through their social groups. It's like nature's version of a group chat, but with yawns instead of emojis. Dogs are another prime example. Studies show that your canine companion is more likely to yawn when you do, especially if you share a close bond. It's not that they're bored with your company, hopefully, but rather that they're deeply connected to you emotionally. Your yawn signals to them, hey, we're in this together. That said, not every creature is susceptible to contagious yawning. Fish, for instance, yawn too, but not because they saw their buddy doing it. Their yawns serve a more practical purpose, like clearing their gills. It's a quirky reminder that yawning, while universal, can have entirely different reasons depending on the species. From empathetic dogs to practical fish, yawning continues to be one of nature's most mysterious and diverse behaviors. The unsolved mystery of yawns, despite decades of research and countless theories, yawning stubbornly remains one of science's greatest unsolved puzzles. Why do we yawn at all? Why is it so hilariously contagious? And why, oh why, does it seem to pick the most awkward moments, like during a wedding speech, a crucial job interview, or that one boring lecture you really tried to stay awake for? Scientists have made impressive strides in understanding the mechanics and potential reasons behind yawning, but the complete picture remains elusive. Is it all about cooling the brain, showing empathy, or a deeply ingrained survival instinct from our ancestors? Or is it some combination of everything, a cocktail of biology, psychology, and social behavior that's still too complex to fully decode? What's clear, however, is that yawning is far more intricate than the simple act of opening your mouth and inhaling deeply. It's a subtle dance between neurons, emotions, and our social environment, a behavior that, while simple on the surface, showcases just how fascinating the human and animal brain can be. So the next time you catch yourself mid-yawn, don't be embarrassed. Instead, take a moment to marvel at the mysterious brilliance of your mind, even if you are trying to stifle it during a high-stakes meeting. Who knew yawning could be this intriguing? And there you have it, the mysterious world of yawns unraveled. If you found this video entertaining, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating, fun, and mind-boggling content. Until next time, stay curious and keep yawning, or not.